The Olympics start this week, and USA defeating Germany in their final Olympic tune-up. LeBron James coming in clutch, nearly 40 years old. Certainly didn't look like it. Some clutch points down the stretch. Finished with 20 points for Team USA as they beat Germany 92-88. Let's welcome in Tim Doyle to discuss as USA beats Germany in that final Olympic tune-up. LeBron, we saw it there, clutch three, clutch layup down the stretch. And it's the same starting five, Tim, that we saw in that scare versus South Sudan. So coming off of that 1-point win, when you're a 40-plus point favorite, and then going into this Germany game, what was your big takeaways for Team USA and this starting five for that final tune-up before Paris gets going?
Same exact takeaway that I had against South Sudan. Get used to seeing games like this from Team USA in the Olympics. Now, everyone ridiculed me. Hats off to CBS, okay? CBS Sports tweeted out my video when I was sitting at my kitchen table, not in my beautiful studio here, about that matchup against South Sudan. And I said, get used to that. And I got blasted, roasted on social media. That's not going to happen again. Well, it just happened again against Germany. And it was kind of the same exact game. Germany, like South Sudan, outscored USA by 21 points from the three-point line. The difference in the game, just like the South Sudan game, was LeBron James. Jack Lee just talked about it. This guy made every key play down the stretch. He made an enormous three. He had every key rebound. Yes, he missed a couple of key free throws a little bit late, but he had some big buckets down low. I'm just going to throw this out there. I'm nervous what if he has an off game? Oh boy, if he has an off game, they're going to end up losing a game. And I just suspect that maybe not every single game, but more games than not are going to be like the South Sudan game, like where they were giving away 44 points. The game was very competitive, went right down to the wire. And this game against Germany, told you earlier today, you take 15 points. The hammer was out today with Germany. You take the underdog. It was a no sweat winner.
Yeah, no sweat maybe if you bet that on Germany, but most people watching kind of biting our nails for Team USA there. If we look at all of the exhibitions leading up to Paris for Team USA, whether that's Canada, Australia, Serbia, South Sudan, and Germany, if you had to rank the performance overall, Tim, 1 to 10, what are you giving it?
You know, there was an old saying, C's earn degrees. I would give it a C. You know, it's a passing grade. But, I mean, what do you expect, right? You got this team being thrown together. They have, you know, only a handful of weeks to practice. And my biggest concern with this Team USA is not the talent. It's everyone understanding their respective role. Drew Holiday knows his role. That's why he's out on the floor. Derek White, I believe he was selected because he understands his role. We're watching guys right now play that really are having a difficult time understanding their role. You want me to name a few? Devin Booker, the only basket he made against Germany was a wild, off-balance, left-handed shot. Jason Tatum completely looks out of sync. Anthony Davis and Joel Embiid, I really love that combination at center. I think both those guys really understand their role. I think you're going to watch Team USA start to lean on Joel Embiid. I think when they start to go through a little bit of a rut, you need to kind of isolate Joel Embiid and get him the ball and then play through him. I thought the ball movement was better. They went on a stretch there, Team USA, in the first quarter where they went on a 21-4 run. Take away that run, they lose the rest of this game. I'm just saying it. I'll say it once. I'll say it again. Get used to it. Competitive games ahead for Team USA.
All right, and they open up group play at the Olympics against Serbia and the Joker, and they beat Serbia by almost 30 when they played them in a tune-up. And large thanks to Steph and Bam, big performances there. Are you expecting more dominance in that first Olympic game? Is it better to have some familiarity with an opponent? What are your thoughts on that?
I think the last two games is like the Roger Bannister theory. Right now I'm showing my age, okay? No one could run a 4-minute mile, break that barrier. He breaks the barrier, and then all of a sudden, like, one after another. Now I think more teams are going to be like, wait, we can compete with these guys. Like, so much of Team USA basketball, especially from the 92 team, there was like an intimidation factor. Like when they stepped on the floor, you were like, oh no, what just happened? Now, South Sudan just took Team USA down to the wire. Germany, shooting less than 40% from the field, took Team USA right down to the wire. And yes, they dominated Serbia in that matchup. And, you know, give Team USA credit. They locked up the Joker. And that is going to end up being, Jacqueline, their calling card. It is not going to be offense. It's going to be, can they slow down teams defensively and impose their will and athleticism? That's where their strength lies, is the energy and effort on defense. And they were great against Serbia. But I think these close games are just going to lead other countries to look around and be like, we could beat these guys. And they are not going to be intimidated from the word go. So, you know, I'm not going to say like take another country to win the gold medal at the Olympics, but I would not be surprised if they lost one game, maybe even 2 games in this Olympics. So they better be ready to play. And if LeBron James had an off night or made a couple of ill mistakes against South Sudan or Germany, they would have lost the last 2 games.
Now, Tim, you said it here, you said it before. We should get used to these close games. The rest of the world has caught up. And I know you just said you're not going to pick another team to win gold here, but what team could potentially maybe present the biggest threat and could get in the way of USA winning gold if you had to narrow it down to just one?
I think one thing that is key is multiple NBA players, because what happens then, those guys step on the floor, they might have been teammates with these guys on Team USA. They might have heck matched up against them. Daniel Theis today for Germany, Mo Wagner, Franz Wagner, like those guys are not intimidated by any stretch of the imagination. Now, I think Franz Wagner is going to lay his head on his little pillow tonight and be like, I really did not do enough. You know, I think the advantage other countries have over Team USA is their stars are well understood that they're the star of the team. Schroeder, Franz Wagner for Germany, right? For South Sudan, they had their stars, Carlik Jones. Like Serbia, you know they're going to play through Jokic. The chess match with Steve Kerr is he has so many great players that who's your star? So far, it's been LeBron James, but is it going to be Anthony Edwards? I think at times it's Joel Embiid. Steph Curry's still on the floor, but he has not shot the ball well. Is he a liability on defense? How are you going to take Steph Curry out of the game? Like, there's so many different storylines. And how about this one? Kevin Durant hasn't played at all. Here's a guy who's probably not going to be too happy if he's sitting on the bench. Maybe he goes to his burner accounts. Kevin Durant needs more run. Like, this is not an easy coaching situation for Steve Kerr, because I think he has multiple guys on the team that don't understand their role or want to embrace their role. So that's going to be the ultimate challenge. And if I had to bet this, I do bet that they lose 1 game in the Olympics.
We can't have Kevin Durant on the burner accounts. Like, we just save that for the NBA. That is not good vibes for the USA for the Olympics. Tim Doyle joining us here on HQ. As USA basketball, they're an undefeated 5-0 in those tune-up games, with the last 2 before the Olympics getting a little bit close. Getting a look at their group stage schedule, they're going to face Serbia, South Sudan, Puerto Rico in group stage play, trying to get to the knockout stage. That is the next round after this, as they look for their 5th straight gold medal.